All right, welcome to week 11. As you can see, my son is making another appearance because my wife does all the sleeping and I do all the parenting, as you would expect, I guess. So, let's get to last week. We had one stud of the week. It was Ben Baker. Good job knocking off Nick, and you put up a good score. I'm impressed, and yeah, good job. Hopefully that continues this week as I roll right past Nick as well. Duds from last week. These are all people that had a chance to really solidify their playoff spot, and they all failed to do so, which would be Ben Black, Heiser, Jim Black, and Nick. All of you had a chance to either get a higher seed or at least put yourself in a good position to be in the playoffs, and you failed to do so. All of you got beat by someone with a worse record or the same record as you. So come on, you got to step it up. The only thing that matters right now is wins to get in the playoffs. All right, let's go to this week. Our first matchup we have is Ben Black versus Tim Heiser. All right, let's go to Heiser's team first. I really like Tom Brady this week. He is on fire right now, and he always shows up in big games like this, so I think he will. Ben Tate, as long as the Browns keep running the ball, he's going to get goal line touches, so I think that's a solid pick. A little disappointed in the outcome of Sammy Watkins, and yeah, Andrew Hawkins is back, and he normally gets good touches, so that can be exciting for you. But I like Ben in this one. I think his team's going to do well. I actually don't know what Roethlisberger is going to give. He seems to either do awesome or he seems to not do that well. Kind of back and forth. I honestly think this is going to be one where he doesn't do that great. And you have no-name backs. But I do think Alfred Brewer will do decent against the Browns. Not as good as you expect. But I just like the rest of your team with Thomas and Jeffrey. And I do think Roethlisberger does enough to put you over the top. But should be low scoring in these two. But Ben, you win. Enjoy it. Next is we have Andy. Welcome to fatherhood, by the way. Exciting for you guys. Glad that everything turned out okay. Praying for just all three of you, and especially Amy. So good job. Welcome. And he's going against Chris. So a good 4-6 matchup with a lot of playoff implications in this one. So let's look. We got Andy. I like Drew Brees, and the Bears stink. I don't know what their deal is, but whatever it is, Forte still keeps putting up good numbers, so that's good for you. Sanu disappeared last week. I'd like to say that's just because of the Browns, so hopefully he bounced back for you this week. And the Steelers always seem to find some no-name dude who steps up and does well at wide receiver at some point. Right now, that seems to be Martavius Bryant, and so that's good for you. So I think you're going to win because when I look over at Chris's Rivers, I feel like he's starting to do that thing where he disappears. McCoy is never really shaped into what I thought he would be. Most of us thought he would be. And besides that, I like Randall Cobb, but that is really about it. Also, from last week, every football team I liked won when I had my son. Ohio State won, the Browns won, and my fantasy football team destroyed. So maybe you'll get the dad luck this week as well, Andy. Enjoy it and ride that win. Next is Jim versus Tyler. Let me comment on Tyler's name, Wreck This League. I'm not sure if he first put it out there because he thought he would wreck this league by doing well, but now I think he actually is wrecking this league because his team is stronger now and last week and probably the week before than it has been all year. And now all he's doing is wrecking people's playoff hopes. And I think he's going to do the same again this week. And this is my upset of the week that I think Tyler will wreck Jim this week. And here's why. I think Bridgewater is going to do enough, and that's where it hinges. As long as he does enough, Tyler will win because he's got awesome backs now with Ingram and Bradshaw. Green is back, and again, I think the Browns slowed him down, but I think he'll do better this week. Dalton was like the worst quarterback on the planet last week. And I really like Mike Evans. He's kind of come, and now he's playing to the potential that we saw out there in Johnny Football land. And here's why I don't like Jim this week. I never trust Kaepernick. Bobby Rainey, not going to do much. And I feel like there's some inconsistency with your wide receivers, even Julio Jones with the Falcons. And yeah, so I think that Tyler wrecks this league this week. All right, next is Aaron versus Ben Baker. Ben, you really need this win, and Aaron, you need it to stay tied for first. So let's look and see what we got here. I think this one is over before it starts, and here's why. San Francisco's getting smart, and they put Frank Gore back into the premier part of their offense. He got his second highest touches last week. This happened last year too, because I had Frank Gore. When they committed back to the run, that's when they started winning. So I see good things for them. And Lynch, I said they might not do well last week, and look what I knew. Nothing. So then we have Ryan. I still don't like Ryan a whole lot, but it's balanced out that I really like Edelman because I think Brady's going to go big, and I really like Antonio Brown every time he steps on the field. So I think you're going to get good from Manning and Sanders and Tate. But besides that, I don't think you got much going on for you this week, Ben. And your running backs, it's really hard to overcome getting 0 points from them, and I think there's a chance that might happen. All right, next is John versus Drew. Another big playoff one. Most of the games are, but these bottom 4 and 6, 5 and 5 teams, you guys really got to start separating yourselves from the rest. So let's look at Drew's team. Drew, Aaron Rodgers, awesome. Not going to do what he did last week in the first half, especially, but he's not going to do that in 4 quarters. But here's the big thing. You put in Fred Jackson, and he didn't even play. So that hurts you. You got to overcome that 0. And I don't think Derek McFadden's going to help you. I do think Macklin, but I've never been a Greg Jennings fan since the minute he took off the cheesehead, so I bet he regrets that. Because of that, Jordy Nelson, who you're going against, is tearing up over there. And Stafford, I think, will do decent because Johnson's in against a very tough Arizona team. So I like Julius Thomas every single week, and Reggie Wayne seems to at least get touches. So some weeks that produces points and some doesn't. So I'm going to give this one to John. Enjoy the win and getting right back up into that playoff chase. Last one is probably the game of the week. My team, who is the highest scoring team in the league, most points and best in Andy's PR rankings, versus Nick, and he is best in Andy's luck rankings. So we'll see. We all know that luck is on my side, pun intended. And here's what. I'm not going to get a good game from all 3 wide receivers, White, Benjamin, and Wright. Most likely, one of them will do well, and the other 2 will drop a deuce for me. And that's what Nick has to try to overcome. Sanchez will do all right. Charles will do all right. Morris will do all right. Johnson will do all right. This issue, I think all your team's going to do all right. So they actually do make me nervous. Plus, you have your lucky streak going in there. But I think I'm going to separate. I'm going to win because here's what I see. Vereen, I think has a chance he could be a no-show. Bennett could be a no-show. Seattle could shut down Charles. And if 2 of those things happen, I will win. And I think 2 of them will. And I will win. And I will move up to 8-3. All right, that's it for this week. All right, all of you out there, enjoy week 11. We got 3 weeks left counting this one. And go Browns!